Well, I think that the earth is a gift from God, and so we have a responsibility to take care of it so that it will be here for future generations. And I also know when I'm out in nature, if I'm taking a walk and I hear the birds and I feel the breeze, that makes me feel more connected to God.
I feel like God's first commandment to us was to take care of the earth. And so in my opinion, if we're not doing that one, then we've got a long way to go before we can take care of the rest. So I think it starts there.
I think it goes hand in hand. The belief and the appreciation of God's gift to us, we see it in many ways. We see it in the people that we're with, my children, my family, my friends, but also in the environment, right? In the clean air and clean water, in parks and nature and trails. That's all a part of God's gift to us, and therefore we have a responsibility to take care of it.
I think that it's our job to protect what we've been given by God, and that means keeping our earth beautiful and safe.
So God made the environment, therefore we have to care for it because it's something He made and we are equals to it and we don't own it, and it's ours to take care of and be a part of.
What God gives us, we need to take care of, and I believe we waste so much now with packaging, and it's really important to us as a family not to buy small prepackaged items when we could get a big container and maybe then reuse the container and certainly recycle it so it doesn't wind up in a landfill. And I think while a lot of that is just practical things that we do, it all leads back to God because we want to take care of His creation and teach our children not to be wasteful.
I think I can just talk about my personal experiences in nature. I feel like when I'm outside, when I'm in the grass, when I'm on a boat, I feel most at peace. I feel most human. And I think bringing myself back to that sort of space helps me be more spiritual. And I feel like I see God in nature, and I see myself as a part of nature and thus a part of God. And that experience is really powerful. And it's something that I can do any day of the week, and I try to do it as much as possible.
I believe our duty as good citizens is to keep the earth clean, as well as a good Christian to keep the earth clean for others and our next generation in line.
I try to make sure that I always recycle. I always try to, before I do that, I make sure that I try to reuse everything I can possibly, and I try not to waste, and I try to teach my family and work with my family to make sure that what we're doing has the least amount of impact on the earth as possible, although we know that we do impact the earth.
So I think to answer your question, the most important thing for me is to share about our addictions to fossil fuels, how we use fossil fuels, how we can reduce our fossil fuels, and how we can expose those really demonic powers that are at work in our society, in our global economy, and in our government that are keeping great technology away. We've got solar panels, alternative forms of energy use that are already available, but we're not using them because of these big oil companies and coal companies that are trying to prevent us from advancing forward in a more sustainable way.
We just really try to think about what impact we're leaving on the environment with the things that we do. So where we're driving to, and if we can walk instead of drive, and those kinds of things.
Well, I do composting, and I have a garden that's growing lots of radishes right now. And turning off the water in between brushing teeth, and turning off lights, turning off, not using lots of power, not using lots of paper, using newspapers to wash glass tabletops and windows.
3 words: reduce, reuse, recycle, in that order.
Yeah, with the kids, we try to look at the sunset or look at the sunrise or just look at how beautiful these gifts are. And with that comes appreciation.
Not only with daily tasks like recycling, but I think in our prayers we talk a lot about gratitude and responsibility, taking responsibility for what God's given us.
Look again and see what the Bible actually says about our position in creation and our call to look after our habitat. Also, just from a common sense kind of thing, if we screw up our world, this is where we live, we don't have too many alternatives. So, from a common sense point of view, we're just, in the long run, we'll be hurting ourselves. So, look after the planet, look after your future generations, and just respect what God has given us. It's wonderful creation.
I would say I think you should challenge your space, your boundaries, and see if you can try and spend some time in nature. Try to take 5 minutes, just go outside, sit in the grass, see how that feels. Feel your breathing changes when you're in nature, things like that. You can learn a lot just by being alone among the natural part of the earth.
The little things that you can do, then if everybody does that, that'll add up to a big effort.
Reduce, reuse, recycle, in that order.